Hello everyone. This is another continuation of my Bluebird on a metal stand for clarification because I've done some Bluebirds before. So on the actual stand that he is on, I have used bluish turquoise 149 layered over the phthalo blue 110. So I did the phthalo blue in just a light, kind of a light general cover. And then I did take a cotton ball, cotton tip, and blend my color in pretty good. You'll notice that where it's light right here, I left that part completely white because there's a really nice white catch light on the pole. Then down here, I did color it in a little bit, but not very dark because I wanted that catch light to kind of show through there too. So on this side over here, I actually did take the black 199 and kind of went on the outside edge a little bit. And it's okay, but to me it kind of dulled the color a little bit. So I went back in with my bluish turquoise and kind of went back over it to make the color pop again a little bit more. Then after that, I just simply take my cotton ball and just blend. And I'd already had this blended pretty well. And then where the catch light is, I did take the white 101 and just really kind of fill in that area. I didn't have to do too much because I left the paper white, and down here I just went kind of over it. As you can see, it doesn't make it white, but it does add a little bit to it, and it makes it a nice look for catching that light shining on that pole. So anyway, and then I did kind of come down on this side with a little bit of white because there's kind of some light that's shining on the inside of the pole over there. So I did come down on that side too a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty much the pole. Now going back to the feet, I had originally used the ultramarine 120 and filled in the color. And if you notice on the feet, you don't want to fill it all in. The feet are very segmented, and so I just kind of filled in where there was color. And then I went back with the bluish turquoise 149 and just kind of very carefully went back over some of those areas where I really wanted the color to kind of show through on there. And then also make sure your pencil is extremely sharp. And then I drew in more of the segmented lines. I also used this color for the actual talons, but then I did use a little bit of the black on the very end of the nails to make them really kind of show up. You have to be careful though and have that pencil extremely sharp, because at the very end of that, it's going to be just an intense little, very small little line. But you can see by using the black, that really made them stand out quite a bit more. Okay, so I think pretty much I'm done with all of that. I went back to my original color that I used originally, the light ultramarine 140, filled in the tail feathers down here. And if you notice, there is a little bit of white on some of the sides of these feathers, which I've left a little bit of an area. Go back in with your white and go down those. Now sometimes if you get too close to another color, you'll have to kind of take your finger and get that color off because it will pick up some of the color you're going in over. The white comes down, goes clear around that tail feather. Okay, and down through the middle of it too. Make sure your lines are going in the, if it's a straight line, try to do a straight line as much as you can to make it look authentic. And then around these lower feathers here, there's some more white. Now on this inside wingtip feather, it's fairly dark. I was tempted to use black, but I'm not going to do that at first. I'm going to use the bluish turquoise 149 to darken that up. Sometimes you just have to be careful because you don't want your colors, even if it is really dark, you don't want it to be so stark that it doesn't look right. There's also a phrase in art, and I like the term because no matter what drawing you're trying to replicate, you want it to look painterly. I always feel like it doesn't matter if it's a farm scene, an animal, a portrait. It's just very aesthetically pleasing if it looks painterly. This little feather down here has got some of the dark areas on it too. Go ahead and fill those in. This has got a fairly dark line that's on these inside tail feathers. Come down. And then just take your pencil and make short little strokes from the line going up. It makes it look more realistic, like an actual feather. Now in here, you just want to just very gently add a little bit more color to that because it is a little bit darker. And I might take a clean cotton bud and go ahead and blend that a little bit. The blending gives it a whole new appearance, really. Okay, so I think we're finished up to there. I'm going to go back in with my light ultramarine, I believe it's 140, and I'm going to try to fill in some of those little blue areas that you see that are random on the bird. On the actual photo, it looks a little bit more turquoise, but for right now, I think I'm going to just stick with the light blue. If I want to make it look more turquoise, if I feel I need to do that, I can go back over it. Just very gently put in your little lines. I need to sharpen this really quick because it's gotten just a tiny bit dull on me. If you don't know where you're at in the picture, just try to see where you're, look at the photo and try to adjust it accordingly to, like, okay, this feather comes up a little bit more because it's more up above with this one, and just kind of go from there. So a little line there. And where this leg is, there's no line on my paper, but where his leg comes out at, there's a little bit of color underneath there, and by putting that in, that will portray where his leg is coming out of. Same way over here, just a little bit of color, not very much, just a little bit. And then up above that, there's some very light little blue that's showing in through the feathers. You don't want to make the same length of strokes all in a row. It's going to be more of a random laying down of the pencil, but all the while looking to see how these feathers lay, and always follow the direction how those feathers are portrayed. Come over here and put in a little bit more blue. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll fill in very gently and very carefully what blue I'm seeing. And now that I'm seeing this, I actually might go in with a little bit more of an aqua color. I don't want it to be too drastic from the main blue color of the bird, but he may be picking up a little bit of reflection off of the stand that he's standing on too. So anyway, I might do that, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with this blue that I've been using. After you get so far with that, go back in and pick up the very first light color that I was using, the salmon color, along with the Rose Carmine 124 and 130, and fill in some more of these feathers. They're really just very light, gentle strokes where the color of those feathers are. You're going to leave a lot of white in between it. And always try to make sure you're going in the direction that those are. Now this next layer of feathers down here, it really is more filled in. So you are going to do a lot more than just a few lines. You're going to fill that in a little bit more. Now up on the neck area, there's quite a bit of, it's almost like a purpley color. I used Middle Purple Pink 125, and I went in and made some stronger color on that neck and toothed that in a little bit into the feathers that's coming out of there, just a little bit. And we're going to curve that a little bit to make it look more three-dimensional so that he's got his head turned. And you can go ahead and really kind of fill that in because it's fairly dark. There's another area right down here that I'm actually going to use more of that too, because it has that purplish look. Not real strong, not as strong as what I've used up there, but just very lightly and gently. Use a little bit more of that. So in the meantime, I will take my cotton bud and I will blend that in. And very gently blend some of this in so it doesn't look all line. Come down and blend some of the other colors you've got in here on his chest. And every once in a while, stop and kind of evaluate, what more do I need? Where do I need more color? Of course, I have to finish these the blue part of the wings over here, which there again, I will take my, no, that's the wrong color. I will take my light ultramarine and I will fill that in. And then there's a little bit deeper color in there. I will take my just ultramarine 120 to make the darker areas so that they all kind of blend and go together on the colors. So this is pretty much going to wrap this up, and I will post this picture online, and we'll go from there. I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint this bluebird, and please follow along. Thank you.